What's going on, guys? It's Jay Camaro here with another episode of Initial Thoughts for you, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Crysis 3 beta. Now, this beta is actually open for anyone who owns an Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, or PC. It opened January 29th, 2013, and it ends on February 12th, 2013. So if I hopefully post this video the same day I'm recording it, which is February 8th, you'll still have a couple days to play it if you've not tried it out yet, and I definitely suggest doing it because it's actually completely free. Now, to start out this video, I'd like to apologize. It seems like I'm doing this every single video, but this time I actually have a valid excuse because pretty much on Friday night, last Friday, not the Friday I'm recording this, but last Friday, February 1st, I was recording tons of YouTube gameplay. I got lots of Crysis 3, which I'll have playing for you in the background, the best clips. I recorded quite a bit of gameplay of Crysis 3 so I could get the best possible, as well as Splinter Cell Conviction for Flashback Friday. But unfortunately, I didn't get to recording Flashback Friday or the initial thoughts of the Crysis 3 beta on Friday, and Saturday morning I woke up with a really sore throat and I was not able to record the video, so I'm like, darn it. And I actually ended up missing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of school. And I sounded terrible all those days, and really I don't think I could do it because I was really tired, and I was blowing my nose constantly every few seconds, and I had a really sore throat, and I was coughing a lot. And you might actually hear me cough a couple times in this video. It's kind of still lingering a little bit, but it'll probably be gone within the next week or so. And then, of course, since I'm in high school and I missed 3 days of school, I have a lot of homework to make up, so I was not able to do it at all this past week. Today, Friday, we actually had a snow day, so I was able to get some extra time to do my homework, a little bit of my homework, because I've got a ton, but I also had time to do some YouTube stuff. The Crysis 3 initial thoughts, sorry, not Crysis 3 initial thoughts, the Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Conviction Flashback Friday episode will actually be postponed after Crysis 3's release, because I'm actually going to be doing a little mini-series about Crysis games for Flashback Friday. So I'm going to be doing Crysis 1, hopefully either today or uploading it on Saturday morning, which is tomorrow. And then next week doing Crysis 2, and of course the Tuesday after that, that Friday, that's when Crysis 3 is coming out. And then hopefully the Friday after that, I'll be able to do the Crysis, the Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Conviction Flashback Friday. So anyway, enough of me rambling about the scheduling of my YouTube channel. Let's get on to the Crysis 3 beta. Now, the Crysis 3 open beta I've been waiting for an extremely long time because I absolutely loved Crysis 2, but I kind of got into it a little bit late. I think I purchased Crysis 2 and Crysis 1 this past summer, and I'm kind of disappointed I got Crysis 1 because actually I'll really get incentive to pre-order this game. If you pre-order from Amazon now, I'm not sure if this is the case in other retailers, but I know it's definitely valid on Amazon.com. But if you pre-order Crysis 3, the Hunter Edition, you get the original Crysis as a download on the console you pre-order Crysis 3 on. And that's really cool. That's a $20 value already right there. Plus, Amazon is offering a $20 in-store credit deal, so you could actually, in theory, only be spending $20 on Crysis 3 if you count the other two deals that you get. So I definitely recommend getting that. But, so the Crysis 3 open beta has two maps, Museum and Airport. You're going to be seeing me play Museum in this clip as well as Airport in my next clip. I had two clips, so this video is going to be a little long, about 23 minutes. So, yeah, I definitely have a lot to talk about. I'm going to be playing, in this gameplay, I'm going to be playing the first of the two game modes. This is called Crash Site, and then the other is Hunter. Now, Crash Site is kind of, it's kind of like Halo 4's, like, base mode. I forget the name of it right now. But you pretty much have these randomly dropped, pods that have a capture radius, and you have to stand around that radius, and then you can actually get points for capturing it, and the person with the most amount of points before time runs out, or they get to the cap wins, which is pretty cool. It's definitely a pretty long game. Usually they're taking me about 10 minutes, so they're not super short like Team Deathmatch in Call of Duty. But it's pretty cool. It's really the main Team Deathmatch mode of the Crysis 3 beta. I think in the full game they're going to have TDM if it's anything like Crysis 2. And then the other game mode is Hunter. Now, this is very, very interesting. And I was a little skeptical about this in the beginning, but it's actually turning out to be pretty fun. So Hunter, much like the name suggests, is a game mode, like a survival game mode. So there's two sides. There's the cell, like normal soldiers, and then there's the hunters. And the hunters are pretty much like invisible nanosuit people. So the cell like people that you play as don't have any of like the super strength or invisibility that the nanosuit does have. But so you start out and it's this really cool animation. You'll see it in a second. But you fly, you kind of like crash, and everybody is like in this dropship, and then you open up to like the landscape, and there's little ammo drops around the area, and then there's two people on your team that start out as hunters. They're invisible, they can go really fast. They have the new bow, which is really awesome, and they pretty much just have to take each other, not take each other, take all the enemies out, and you pretty much have to survive for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Which doesn't sound like a ton of time, considering sometimes an infection in Halo Reach has been survived for close to like 5 minutes. But this is a lot harder to kill the hunters because they're invisible and they're really fast. You do have some pretty good weapons. You start out with one mag in your pistol and your standard weapon, and then you can pick up some in the like drop locations around the map. So let's get on to the actual basics of Crysis 3. So Crysis 3 is going to be the sequel to Crysis 2, obviously. It's going to run the CryEngine 3 engine, so although this is an EA game, it's published by EA and developed by Crytek, it's not actually running EA's Frostbite 2, which powers most of their first-person shooters nowadays, as well as a couple of Need for Speed games. I don't think Most Wanted ran Frostbite 2, but I'm sure Need for Speed The Run ran it, as well as Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, and Medal of Honor Warfighter. CryEngine 3 was, or rather, the engine that ran the original Crysis. I don't recall if that's CryEngine 3 or 2 or 1, but that was really regarded as the best-looking game on PC. Maybe of all time. I don't know if Crysis 2, Crysis 3, or Battlefield 3 surpassed it, but back then, in about 2007, 2006, it looked really, really good. You kind of referred to the term as "can it run Crysis," which pretty much is if your computer can run Crysis, even if it can't literally like run Crysis, like if you don't play it, but running Crysis pretty much makes like it a worthy gaming computer. And people were comparing their computers against each other to see if they could the highest they could run Crysis, and it was a really graphically intensive game. On the 360. I think the graphics are alright. The lighting definitely takes a big hit, as well as a lot of the particle effects. It doesn't look terrible, but I actually think, at least in the beta format of Crysis 3, Crysis 2 does look better, at least in my eye. Of course, this is a beta, so we'll see what happens when the full game is released. I'll hold my final judgment until then, but for right now, I think Crysis 2 looked slightly better. I think mainly in the environments, like museum, what you're saying right here. It just seems very, very bland to me. It just doesn't look very interesting at all, but that's just me. There's the cough. So, Crysis 3's gameplay revolves around the nanosuit. Now, you could kind of think of it like Spartans, and yeah, you've got your shield and your armor, and then you've got your like special abilities, and of course you have like a suit on, and then you have two modes, which can be accessed at least on the Xbox 360 controller by pressing either bumper. You can either use cloaking ability, which runs a lot like in Halo, where your guy goes completely invisible, but then he appears if he shoots, and then it appears if he starts. Actually, no, it doesn't appear if he starts walking, but the faster you walk, the shorter it will take to run out of energy, and energy is pretty much what powers your entire suit. I don't think it counts for sprinting in Crysis 3. It did in Crysis 2, like you could only sprint when you had a certain amount of energy. So of course, sprinting while you're invisible took up a ton of energy. But I think that energy only powers your special abilities in Crysis 3. But you can go invisible, and I think it's alright. I don't really use it a ton. Maybe if you're playing, like, maybe with the bow, and when I was recording this gameplay, I hadn't unlocked the bow. The ranking system of this game kind of works like Call of Duty with the prestiging, but I'll talk about that in a little while. That's one of the modes, and then there's the armor mode. Now, armor mode I use a ton, because if you don't use it, you're really going to die pretty fast. You don't have a ton of health. Actually, you have a ton of health. But when someone's shooting at you, of course, it kind of runs down a little bit. And that's kind of one of the things that I'm kind of disappointed about Crysis. I think it just takes too many bullets to kill someone. You have to unload almost like at least half a magazine into someone just to kill them, and that's being pretty accurate. So you're definitely going to be running out of ammo quite often in Crysis 3. But armor mode increases your armor, so it's harder to kill you. And really, whenever I get into an engagement, I always turn that on. I actually now have a I don't know if they call it perks. I'll just call it a perk on my my class that I use that actually automatically turns it on whenever I'm getting shot, which is really nice because it doesn't really harm anything like your damage, and it just makes it harder to kill you because you're really gonna get into this fight of people. This fight when you get into fights with people, it's really just gonna be who can put as many bullets into someone first. And if you have armor mode, of course, that's more bullets for the other person to put into you. Um, but those are two armor modes. They're pretty cool, and I think they're definitely what makes Crysis unique. You've also got nanovision, which is this like heat sensing. It's like everything's white except for people, which appears like colorful things. And it's pretty cool. I don't use it a ton, partly because my D-pad and my controller is pretty much broken. But here we're starting the next gameplay on the airport map. We're playing Hunter. And just to give you a little warning, I'm terrible, terrible at Hunter. I don't know why. I'm really good, as you saw in the last gameplay at Crysis, but I'm just not good at these survival game modes. In Halo Reach, actually, was really good. There's just something about Hunter that I'm not great at, but I actually do get a really cool kill at the end. Also, the people I'm playing with, Ranger99 and Say Comment 7, they do really good, so if you can see them on your screen, they're on my screen, they're definitely going to be doing quite good. But yeah, my D-pad's pretty damaged, so I don't use it a ton. You can also switch your guns from like semi-automatic to full auto and such. And so that's pretty much the gameplay. And now we're going to talk about creating a class, the class setup in Crysis. Now, Crysis does not have a lot of guns. That was the case in Crysis 1, was the case in Crysis 2, and at least where the beta stands right now is the same case in Crysis 3. There's not like in Call of Duty where you've got like 5 SMGs, like 7 assault rifles, like 4 or 5 pistols. You've got pretty much one gun for every purpose. You've got your semi-automatic assault rifle, your full auto assault rifle, your couple of SMGs, your rocket launcher, your LMG, your shotgun, and that's pretty much about it. There's not going to be a very large variety of weapons. But one weapon they did add was the bow, and the bow is insane. It's really fun to use. It's not like a crossbow, it's an actual bow, and it really takes me back to Skyrim whenever I'm using it. The one problem that I have with it is unless it's a headshot, like you hit someone in the head with one of your bullets, it's a 2-hit kill, and I think that especially at like mid-ranges, or even longer, and pretty much at every range, it's going to be hard to get 2 of these bows, like yank it all the way back and then and then release it before somebody can kill you. So I think that they should make it like maybe a 1-hit kill and then have it drop off to 2 at a longer distance, but I think at close range they really need to make it a one-shot kill, because it's very hard to get kills with it unless you're really far away and you're able to put 2 bolts into someone, as well as, of course, getting a headshot. But back to the creative class. So pretty much the weapons, the creative class system functions a lot like in Call of Duty. You got your kill streaks, you got your perks, and then your weapons with attachments. Now the way you unlock your attachments is actually identical to Call of Duty. You've got weapon levels that you level up through kills, and then the levels expand as you get more kills. You do have camos, but in the Crysis 3 beta, you've only got one, the cell camo. I'm sure that there's going to be some like special way to earn them in the full game, but I can't really tell of any way to do it in the beta. Another thing that you can do, which I didn't think you could do in Crysis 2, I'm not positive. I didn't really play Crysis 2 a ton, but when I did play it, I had a lot of fun playing it, where you can prestige. Now, when you get to level 10, at least in the beta, and they're probably going to expand it in the full game to make it more replayable. When you get to level 10, you can pretty much prestige, your rank goes back down, but then you unlock a special weapon. For example, for the first prestige, I don't think it's called prestige, I'm just going to call it prestige. For the first prestige, it's called Suit Reboot. Yeah, that's what it's called. For the first Suit Reboot, you unlock the bow. And then everything gets wiped, and at level 5, you unlock Create Class, and then you can use it in all of your classes. The next one, you unlock another Assault Rifle. So there's you really have to do that to unlock new weapons. You do lose everything, and I do mean everything. So you do lose all your attachments, which is really really annoying, especially because most of the weapons takes a lot of kills to unlock attachments for them. I think like even the first level, just to get the red dots on the assault rifle, is like 25 kills or something. So it definitely does take a little while, but especially where it stands on the beta right now, where you're prestiging suit rebooting. I'm sorry. Every like day or so, it's really annoying how everything has to reset over and over again. One interesting part though is that if you don't touch your class at all when you after you prestige reboot your suit, um, you can actually keep your older attachments by just not customizing your gun. I'm sure this is probably a bug in the beta, but I was able to, after I prestige, keep my red dot sight and my foregrip on my assault rifle, even if I hadn't technically reached that level, that rank yet. So that's pretty interesting. So that's create a class. It's pretty standard fare, and there's just not a ton of weapons to it. So you're definitely really going to want to learn to excel in one gun and not be like in Call of Duty where you're using just tons of different classes. In this, I think you have 5 classes, like slots to use to customize, and I was only using 1 or 2. Not like in Call of Duty where I have like all 8 of my classes. Yeah, I'm up to 8 now. With different like weapons like LMGs and assault rifles. I pretty much had my assault rifle class and my bow class, and that was really all I needed. You really are going to want to excel in a certain weapon category to be good at Crysis 3. So, of course, this is a multiplayer beta, so I can't really say a lot about the campaign. From what I've seen in the campaign, it looks more like Crysis 2, when you're in New York City, but it's overgrown now. Of course, this is an airport, and it looks very, very overgrown, with like rust and grass like inside the actual terminal, and of course that plane out in the center of it. But I think that's going to be a really cool environment. It looks very kind of post-apocalyptic to me, and I actually really like those post-apocalyptic environments. I like going into an area and seeing just like the aftermath of like disasters and stuff. That's, I don't know, just that seems cool playing like that in the video game, seeing like what could happen after the destruction of something. I don't know. I just like that kind of map design. So I'm really interested to see what Crysis 3 will bring to the table in that regard. But so that's pretty much the Crysis 3 beta. One interesting bug on the Xbox 360 that me and all my friends like Ryan and Owen couldn't figure out for about a day after the beta came out, that at least when we did it, I don't know if they fixed it yet, because I haven't played this beta in a couple of days because of course I was sick, but you cannot be in an Xbox Live party when you're starting up the game, which is really weird. So like if I'm in an Xbox Live party while I'm starting up Crysis 3, it actually it frees your Xbox, and then you have to turn it all the way back on and rejoin the party and try to start up the game again, and I think that's kind of annoying. Maybe it's just because it's pushing the Xbox 360 to its limits so much that you can't even be, it's using up so much RAM that at least when you're initially powering on the game, you can't be in an Xbox Live party and like using up that extra RAM. I don't know. Hopefully they'll get that figured out by launch. I really don't think it would be acceptable to leave that for launch date, or maybe in like a post-release patch or something like that, because although this is called a beta, I really don't think there's going to be a ton of changes in the full game, much like the Medal of Honor Warfighter beta, where they definitely did release a big patch after upon the release of Medal of Honor Warfighter. Still didn't save it from selling terribly, but with all like the beta changes and stuff, I think that's probably what they're going to want to do with Crysis 3, because the game comes out on February 18th, and that's just 10 days from now. So probably they're already printing the game and distributing it to retailers for its release. So I don't think there's a ton of time left for Crytek to make many changes. So unlike kind of like the Halo Reach beta, where you saw a ton of changes, you're really not going to be seeing a big difference between the beta and the final release of the game. I think all in all, from my experiences of Crysis 3, I am very, very satisfied with what Crytek put together. I think that it's going to be a really, really good game, and I think it's going to be a nice kind of change from the Halo and Call of Duty and Battlefield that I've been playing for a really, 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 really long time this fall gaming season. But it's free, so if you want to check it out, it's available for a couple more days now, and play it with your friends. That's really all that's left to say about it, guys. I really enjoy the Crysis 3 beta, and I I think that really this is a very good look on what's to come. I do think that the Xbox 360 version is going to be toned down quite a bit because I've seen a lot of PC gameplay, and it just looks amazing on the PC with all like the like settings and graphics cards that you can have on your PC. But I think it runs at 30 frames per second. It looks alright on the Xbox 360, but you can definitely see that this is probably going to be the last year of the Xbox 360, and we're probably going to be seeing Crysis 4 on the next generation with better graphics and stuff. This is like 4 rounds, so we're coming into the last round, and this is where I get my really, really awesome kill. I'm pretty much out of things to say, so I think I'm just going to cut this, and you can watch the rest of it in your own, just in gameplay. I'll probably turn the audio back on so you can just watch the end. But that's pretty much my conclusion on the Crysis 3 beta. Definitely a good game, and I can't wait for the full release. If you're not completely sold on whether to get the full game or not, just check it out. Crysis 3, the full game, releases on February 18th, 2012 on the Xbox 360, the PC, and the PlayStation 3. There is no Wii U version announced right now. I don't think the Crytek said that they were not going to be developing Crysis 3 for the Wii U. Don't like hold me to this. I'm not positive, but I don't think they're going to develop this for the Wii U, at least for right now. As the Wii U is kind of just starting out, but the Hunter Edition is pretty much the pre-order version of Crysis 3. It's available for free. Check it out. You'll get some weapons like unlocked immediately upon release date, and it's just going to be a really cool game. Definitely expect initial thoughts of that. Maybe some more gameplay if I really get into it. Finally, I'll go out on the note that the Revolution DLC map pack initial thoughts for Call of Duty Black Ops, I'll try to have that uploaded sometime this week. I've got all the multiplayer gameplay, I just need to get a little bit of zombie stuff. It's actually going to be in 2 parts. There's going to be the multiplayer video and then the zombie video, so I can really go in depth about each of them. But if you like this video, thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.
Eliminate them.
Hunters!
3 cell left. Find them now.
Hunters! Yeah, I know.
2 cell left. Hunt them down. They don't stand a chance. Find them. Excellent. We sent them a message they won't forget.
Okay, that turned nasty real quick. Forget about it. Fight harder next time.